Hey guys, I'm back with another video. This time I have another dungeon quick guide explaining my route and why I do specific things and pointing towards a few maybe dangerous pulls and abilities that you should take care of. And this time I have the Nokhud offensive prepared, so I'm as usually using Mythic dungeon tools for planning my routes. So of course I will put in the link to my route into the description, so you can basically just import it as usual and can play around with it, or maybe you can even optimize it and let me know. I'm always up for tips. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to start with this explanation. So maybe one thing that you need to decide when you start the dungeon is if you want to start with the Raging Tempest or with Greneth. Maybe on tyrannical weeks it makes sense, because then you have your Bloodlust up to start with the Raging Tempest. When you want to do it, make sure you use Bloodlust on the phase after the first orbs are spawning, because then you get a damage buff, and it's best used to use the Bloodlust when you already have some buffs up. Usually I start with the Greneth. And what I'm doing here is I'm landing here at pull number 3. I have numerized it like that because sometimes you want, if you see that this pet is in a good position, start with it, use Bloodlust on this one, and then you nuke it down very easy. So that is up to you. What I usually do is I land over here, start with pack number 3, pull them a little bit down to like 30%, 40%, something like that. And by that time, usually this patrol is around this area as well. And then I immediately pull them all together, and that is something that you can Bloodlust if you want. But it's up to you. You can also Bloodlust the boss to have it down quicker. So depending on your group constellation, maybe also compositions, it makes sense to use Bloodlust for the pack or for the boss. After this one is dead, and the pet as well, you have this inner circle patrol, which I usually do right after. So I take this out, go to this next pack, to the last pack with the Lance Masters, and then the boss is spawning. One thing for all of those packs, I think, is not a big deal, but you need to understand that there are some longbow caster mobs basically inside these groups, and they really have a big damage output, and they are randomizing what they are targeting. So it can happen that your group members get killed very easy if they are targeted. So you have to make sure as a tank to pull all the other mobs directly as close to the longbows as possible, to make your group cleaving them down as fast as possible, to stress down the amount of heal your healer has to put out into the group, and also make the fight a lot quicker and easier. So let's assume that was our first pull. The boss is down. Then from there we go to the Raging Tempest. For the Raging Tempest, I usually land here on pack number 6, and depending on if those small gusts are up and close to it, I usually group them together with pack number 6 and kill them. Then most of the time this Thunder Beast pack is also patrolling in this circle around the boss, and it's coming to this first pull. Then I usually directly kill the Thunder Beast. The Thunder Beast is a dangerous mob in my opinion, because it puts out a lot of damage on the tank, so you need your mitigation up, and also this casting Chain Lightning, which is basically put on one of your group members. And if it is on you or on whoever it is, you must go out of the group a little bit, because otherwise this spell will spread through all the members and put a lot of AoE damage into the group. After this one is down, we go to the next Stormcaller pack, go to the other Stormcaller pack, and the last one. So for those, there's nothing very special. They always have a random mob, special mob with them, which needs to be focused in kicking especially. And those Thundercaller packs always do kind of a lot of AoE damage, which your healer must deal with. So If you have some mitigation up, help your healer by pulling out some CDs maybe, and then it's a very easy situation. So overall, this pack is also not so dangerous in my opinion, if everything gets kicked properly. Then we do the boss. As I mentioned, save your cooldowns after the first wave of orbs is going out, because then you get a damage buff, your healer get a healing buff, and it makes the most sense to spend all your damage cooldowns and big cooldowns when you have those buffs up. The boss itself has been nerfed several times already, so it's by far not that dangerous than it was. However, still, I think it makes much more sense to use this one as a first boss on Tyrannical weeks, to use Bloodlust on him. But on Fortified weeks, I usually start, as I mentioned, with the first boss here, and then I consider Bloodlasting this big pack together maybe with this small one here, or depending if the pack is close to the pack number 4, I start with this one. So you have to decide this on the fly. You see where this patrol is currently at, and then you decide how you want to go from there. But basically, that's my general route, to go on Fortified with Granite first, and on Tyrannical weeks with Raging Tempest. From there, I go to the third boss, which is Maruk and Tira. Here we do the majority of our percentages, because those are those are the easiest mobs in the complete dungeon, and they are really stacked together. You do not have to run a lot and far, so it's very easy to get your percentages in a very time-efficient way here. So the first thing that I'm doing is I land for the first Soul Harvester pack, and you have these Ohuna birds flying around in a circle, and usually after like you are half done with this fight, they are coming in, they fly clockwise, and they come from there and jump in. So I usually pull them all together there at some point, clear this the Ohunas, so that I have not any issue with them and dealing with them while I do some more dangerous packs maybe, and then it's very easy. From there I go to the next Soul Harvester pack. After I have put them down, I start now to collect my percentages. So the first patrol that I kill is that one that is right next to your pull number 12. They usually are on the way towards you, so you can just run in, kill them, and from there I usually go to the next Soul Harvester pack, and then I jump down the hill to get all those mobs that are standing down the hill right next to the pack. And you only have to be a little bit careful here, because there is another patrol that is patrolling between pack number 14 and 13, so they are running here around. You want to, or maybe if you have some cooldowns up, if you are playing in a more coordinated group, it isn't a big issue if you pull them together. You can nuke them down, save even more time. I did this 2 or 3 times already when I had a good group, and I feel confident that we can do it and kick everything and nuke it down. It saves a lot of time, but pulling them together can be dangerous on most of the pack groups. So take care when you pull this one to not accidentally pull this, except you, as I mentioned, have a good group. After those small packs are down, you have this one beast caller with his 4 wolves that you can kill. And then what I'm doing is, before I clear this small group here, I first do the last Soul Harvester pack, because the reason is, after I have killed all of them, I can pull this last small pack group a little bit up to this hill, because there is one more patrol, which is this one, that you can see is patrolling towards this pack. And since after this pack we have a lot percentages, and we do not actually need this pull anymore, we of course want to skip it to be the most efficient. So that's the reason why I usually first do this hill, clear this hill, and then I pull and taunt them all the way here to be safe from this patrol. All right, after that we are at around 94%, which is totally enough, because on the last pull of mobs we get to 100%. So pack number 15 is the boss. Not much to say here. They are doing some AoE effect, which is a fear. You just run out. And as a tank, it is only important to know that you must tank them together in one spot. Because otherwise they get a damage buff, and that is really hurting a lot and can get you killed as a tank very easy, because Maruk is pulling out a lot of damage, especially on tyrannical weeks. So you have to be sure that you have some mitigation up and timed well. Basically, as a tank, you just run after Tira. Maruk is always following. And yeah, basically that's it. Make sure that you have some mitigation up when Maruk is charging at you, because that hurts a lot. Otherwise, when Tira is casting her Stormwinds, the members around your group should spread out a little bit so that they not get stuck and one-shotted by all those winds coming up. After you have cleared this area, then I think by now it is a very standard one. I do this since I think the first week after the dungeon came out. It turned out that this is the most efficient way to play this dungeon on the last boss. You just fly all the way here, land somewhere over here, and then you only have to deal with these small mini bosses with Batak and with Balara. So you actually skip the complete area of the fourth boss. That is because they are very inefficient, they are very dangerous, they have a lot of things to kick, and you have to make sure that you not accidentally pull more than you want. So it's a very nasty situation to deal with, and if you can skip it, what else do you want? So basically you come over here, as I mentioned, you can skip all these mobs, and then you only do those two again. Badak has some fear effect that you need to kick. Other than that, he is doing a frontal, which you need to dodge, and Balara is charging at someone, which also needs to be dodged. So it's not a very dangerous thing, very easy in my opinion, and even on fortified, it's not a big deal to kill them. And then the last boss. Also, it's not a very difficult boss in my opinion. There are more dangerous ones in this season. You only should know that you wait with Bloodlust, which should be up by now, until he is doing the add phase, where he is getting immune and spawning 4 adds that need to be kicked as soon as possible, pulled all together, and then cleaved down. It's important that everyone is kicking one of those mobs so that they come towards the tank. Because they are casting and casting over and over, and they can hurt a lot if they are not getting killed fast. So that's the best situation to use your Bloodlust. Nuke them down, do the rest of the boss, and then it's GG. The boss itself is spawning some AoE effects, which you have to dodge. So you only have to be a little bit careful, watch the mechanics, dodge area of effects, and then it's a very easy fight in my opinion. So that's it with the Nokhud offensive. I try to keep those videos as short as possible. I do not want to waste your time with them, but I think it makes sense to explain my routes, because I do them on all of my characters. I do them on my Druid, I do them on my Blood Decay, and now also on my Warrior. And so I do them from level 1, from level 2 to 15 and above. So it's working. They are very efficient in my opinion. As you see, we have 100%. So feel free to try this route. If you have anything, any questions, or even advices to do something better, of course, feel free to do a comment, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy the video content, to also get more content coming. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching the video. See you soon. Bye bye.